Why is it important to live in the moment? Everybody talks about being present, but do people actually do it? And I'm going to talk about today why you need to do it. So my name is Chris Richardson. I'm a coach here at Life on Your Terms, and I make these videos here so you can do exactly that. You can live life on your terms. So why is it important to live in the moment? There's three factors I'm going to go over today. Your emotional and mental health piece that is profound and you need to listen to. How to live in the moment. I'm going to give you some actionable tips that you can start doing today to help you live in the moment. And then other benefits that I've seen from living in the moment that can actually increase your income and make you money. So before I get into all that, maybe you feel like you don't live in the moment and you want to focus on some of those things. That's where I encourage you to take the balance wheel in the description below, because there you're going to look at the professional side, relationships, health, and resources, and you can look at those areas and see where you want to live in the moment more. So I encourage you to do that. So what was the emotional and mental health side that I said was so profound? Well, first thing with living in the moment is that anxiety lives in the future and depression lives in the past. So if you're not present, if you're future thinking, sometimes you may be anxious, or when you're past thinking, you may feel depressed. And I have a therapist that's very close to me, and she always says that 80% of your thinking should be present, 10% future, and 10% past. Now, that's a great rule, but it's not easy to follow. But I would encourage you to try to get as close to you can and to follow that metric as you can. I've found that when I am present thinking, I feel so much better. I'm not anxious about the future. I don't feel bad about the past. So those things can be really important to look at. Where's your present thinking? And are you mostly living in the future, or are you mostly living in the past? And identifying that stuff with yourself. Now, the second thing to the emotional and mental health piece is being in the present allows us to truly feel and appreciate the moment, leading to joy and contentment. When we're living in the present, we're able to actually feel what emotions we have. And when we don't try to suppress those emotions by living in the future, living in the past, and we just feel what we are feeling, we will more quickly get to contentment and joy, which is what we all want. So being able to actually allow yourself to feel those things is very important for your emotional and mental health. Now, the third piece to why is it important to living in the moment and the emotional and mental health piece of that is it's going to build emotional resilience. You may ask, how is that going to happen, Chris? Well, because it's going to develop resilience by being able to navigate life's challenges with greater ease. How is it going to do that? Because by living in the moment, you're going to be present. And when, personally at least, when I'm present looking at a life's problem, I'm able to better solve it. If something happens that I'm upset about how I acted or whatever, then if I just dwell on that, I'm not going to be able to navigate the life's challenges. Whereas if I'm able to just move through it and just be present with how I'm feeling and just move through it, let it go, then I'm able to just be happier and feel better. Same thing with the future. If I'm always focused on this future problem, I'm not going to be able to navigate life's challenges here. So it's important to be able to do that, and that will build emotional resilience through doing that. Now, the second piece, how to live in the moment. I told you I was going to give you some actionable steps, and I am right now. So those actionable steps you could take is mindful breathing. That's the first thing you could take to bring you to the present. Now, one of my favorite mindful breathing techniques is the square breathing technique. You can choose whatever one you'd like, but the square breathing technique is what I like. It's a 4-second inhale, a 4-second hold, a 4-second exhale, and a 4-second hold. I have a little story. I take ice baths Tuesdays and Fridays, and ice baths are a great way to make yourself present because you're only concerned with how cold you are. You can't think about the past, you can't think about the future because you're only worried about how cold you are. But what I like to do is I like to use breathing to really bring me to the present moment, because I'm only focused on that inhale, that hold, that exhale, and that hold while I'm in that ice bath. So I got like a double whammy of making me feel present, and I promise you that makes me instantly present. I take a 4-minute ice bath, so that's 4 minutes that on those days that I know I will be present. So that is super helpful for me to do, at least. Now, the second thing you could do is some sensory awareness. Just go through your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you taste? And what do you feel? And if you just go through all those things, you'll start to realize that you're going to bring yourself to the present. That can be a super helpful way as too. And then the third one to kind of bring yourself to the present is body sensations. And you could do this at any time. An easy way to do it is start from your feet and move up. Just think about, what do you feel? How do your feet feel? How do your legs feel? How does your chest feel? Whatever, all that stuff. You just go through that stuff, think about how it feels. And sometimes if you're at an event or something like that, you can just think about, how does my arm feel? You know what I mean? To just bring yourself back to the present. That could be super helpful. You don't have to start your toes all the way up, but it's been helpful for me, so I like to do it that way. Now, the third other benefits you're gonna get from living in the moment, the first one is you're gonna get better relationships. Now, how are you gonna get better relationships? Because when you're present, you're gonna display more empathy, you're gonna display more active listening and engagement. And through those three things, you're gonna increase your relationships. And I've found that it's a superpower to be able to connect with someone fast. And I think the way you connect with someone fast is through empathy, through active listening, engagement. And then when you actually care about them, it feels like a superpower. And you do that through being present, by looking them in the eyes, nodding, engaging, because most people don't do that. And if you will do that, you will look like a superstar. And I promise people will attach to that and connect with that. Now, the second other benefit that I found from living in the moment is that you're gonna be better at your job. Now, as a coach, stuff like that, I have to be present and stuff like that to be a great coach. But let's say I'm just watching a YouTube video on something, business related, whatever. If I'm able to be present and notice and learn all the things, I'm gonna be better at my job. And I said earlier, they can make you more money, and it can. If you're better at your job, you're gonna make more money. So it is actually very important for you to be present at your job so that you can notice things and learn and then get better and make more money. Now, another benefit that I've seen from being present in the moment is I have a new appreciation for things I wouldn't have in the past. For example, I was just in Colorado this last week, and we were driving through the mountains, and I really just whoa, that was a crazy mountain. I just appreciated it. I was in the moment, like, this is crazy what is in front of me. I don't experience this because I'm in Nebraska, so it's boring, but when I'm able to actually just appreciate what's in front of me, it's beautiful. And then we went snowboarding one day, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful out here. I wouldn't trade this for the world. And being present, it helps me be more content and joyful, as I talked about earlier. So the last other benefit, and there's more than just this, but this is the last benefit I have on this list, is it's gonna have an unleashed creativity. Because to be creative, you have to kind of let your mind wander in the present moment. And so it needs to be able to flow and tap into that intuition for inspiration and curiosity. So with your creativity, just let your mind wander in the present moment, and you'll get that aha moment. Like sometimes when I'm at the gym, I'll just be letting my mind wander about things or whatever at the gym, and I'll be like, whoa, this, creative. And sometimes there's a little bit of being in the past there, but I'm living in the moment and just letting myself flow, and I'm gonna get that creativity.